They're feeling that prompting from the Lord to do something that is not typical. It's not comfortable. There's a lot of unknowns. There might be a financial, barrier, all the things that might hinder them from whatever it is that the Lord is nudging them to do, whether it's foster care, whether it is adoption, traveling overseas to serve in some way. How would you speak to those fears today?
Hmm. I mean, I feel like if God has laid it on your heart, He is going to provide for it. And I don't just mean financial provision. That's just such a small piece of it, but that He's
Right.
also going to provide you with the strength or the patience or the sustenance or the grace or whatever it is that you need. And I think that does not mean that it's not going to be hard. And it
Right.
does not mean that it's not going to be lonely. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to be scary, but just that I just it's worth it. It's so worth it. Like I feel like I look back at my life and I would do it again. I just with all the hard and all the struggle and all the things that I did not know, um I don't regret saying yes to the things that God put in front of me. And I think we can
Yeah.
be fairly confident that if he is asking you to step out to love your neighbor, if he is asking you to step out to care for someone, like those are things that we see so clearly in his word that his
Yeah.
heart is about. And I think we can trust him in obedience. I think we can trust that, like, even if we don't, and this is hard for me, I'm saying this to myself, even if we don't have the whole plan mapped out or we can't
Yes.
see exactly how it's going to work out, like, if God is calling us into something, he's going to meet us there.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's so true. And going back to your previous point, we have to still ourselves to sit with him, just as
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about with our people. And like, pointing at myself here, guys, like I have to still myself because I am so guilty of just filling my moments, filling my days. There's always something to be done. There's always a box to be checked. There's always something, more education so that I feel more in control, or, whatever it might be. We have to discipline ourselves in a good way to create that space so that we can hear from him, so that he can provide what he wants to give us. He's a good father. We give him that obedience and he wants to provide what we need in order to carry that out. And so, yep, again, preaching to my heart today, guys. That's so, so good. It's such a good reminder. And, you mentioned the hard parts and the hard things. And I think it is good because your story is so inspiring. It's so beautiful. I don't want to just move past and go, oh, hey, that's beautiful. That's inspirational. Thumbs up. And I'm going to go about my day. Like, there's been hard. And so for you, would you mind sharing with us just some of the hardest moments in your motherhood journey, and maybe just something that the Lord has taught you through that?
Yeah, I think, goodness, some of the hardest moments for me are just feeling so ill-equipped to
Mm,
help, when we have, like we talked about this a little bit earlier, like when our child has deep hurt in their background and it's bringing out different behaviors and just like not knowing how to help them, not knowing how to meet them, not, the deep ache of like our inability to go back in
yes.
time and rewrite the story, our inability to fix, our inability to protect them from the things that we were not present for. uh it can be so hard and just not
Yeah.
always, you can have all the knowledge and you can do all the trainings and you can still feel so ill equipped to
Yeah.
help someone in their own suffering. And it has really just taught me, I think the way that God has met me in it is it has just taught me such an open-handedness and such a surrender and dependence on God, because I feel like the Lord constantly in ministry, but especially in parenting, like constantly has me in these moments of like, God, I cannot do this without you. And I think
Yeah.
God's like, yeah, correct. You cannot. That is absolutely right. And so it has just taught me just how dependent I have to be on him all the time. Like, really, such a clear picture of like any good that ever comes out of me is
Yeah.
straight from the Lord. And without him, no good can come out of me and from my life. And so, man, it's just made me want to stay so close to him in prayer just throughout my days. I mean, just so many scenarios where I'm just like, okay, Lord, if you don't come through here,
Yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do. And he's continued to meet me in that, and it has not always looked like I imagined that it would, and it
Right.
has certainly not been all rainbows and butterflies. There have been beautiful parts of our story, yes, but there have been really devastating parts of our story. And I know you would say that about your own story too. And I know so many people listening would go like, man, this is not what I expected, or this
Yes.
is not what I signed up for.
Right.
And at the same time, God is still good and he is still carrying us through.
Yeah.